Hey everyone, welcome to The Zest, the official podcast of Orange Coast Magazine. I'm Chelsea Ranieri, and today's guest is the designer whose work has quietly shaped some of the most recognizable and beloved spaces across Orange County. Through her studio, she shaped standout spaces like Coffee Dose, Eat Chow, Outpost Kitchen, and Jan's Health Bar, along with previous works for Lido Marina Village, Bear Flag, and Pacific City. Her approach brings brand, experience, and business strategy into alignment. Now, she's leading a new wave of 2026 projects, from reimagining historic icons like Mariners Mile Square and the beloved Spaghetti Vendor, to a Japanese concept at the camp, L Space headquarters, Moxi3 Dana Point, curated retail in Laguna Beach, and a Palm Springs project that's sure to turn heads. Please welcome the founder of Common Standard, Amanda Malson. I am such a huge fan of all of your designs. I've been a patron at pretty much everywhere I listed in the intro, but I think my favorite has to be Coffee Dose, the flagship. The line is still always out the door, but I remember that first weekend going, people were trying to get photos like from the outside of the interiors. Like every little detail was being photographed and posted. And it's such a gorgeous space.
It's definitely a fan favorite. Yeah, for sure. It's a whole experience in there.
Yes. Yeah. I remember when I interviewed Jenny, I was telling her like this in the best way, like, the only experience I've felt similarly to being that immersed in something is like Disneyland, where you're just like so completely immersed. Like it I don't know, transports you almost. Like it just is nothing like it.
Yeah. Well, that's a big part of our design. And so I'm so happy that you said that, because that's our goal in our design with our clients. And so that's a good outcome for sure. And secretly, I'm a Disney fan. I would not tell anybody that, but design wise, Disney, they're good at what they do as far as experience wise. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you grew up in Kansas with two very creative parents. So what did creativity look like in your household, and how did it shape you early on?
Well, my father is an artist, and my mother is very creative. And so my father taught me many, many mediums growing up. Like he was always into something like, painting or ceramics or jewelry making or woodworking. And we lived across the street from my elementary school. And then his shop was right next door. And so it was either go to school or go to my dad's shop or play in the garden or, kind of like it just always experiencing something artistic. And then my mother had a loom in the house when I was little, and did a lot of weaving and, fiber pieces that were also combined with ceramics. And, they, as a couple, they were just very creative together. Mm-hmm. And I think there's no way around getting that influence when you have two parents that are actively, working on different projects.
What a cool upbringing. That's so unique too. And I also read that you used to build tents and design houses out of refrigerator boxes, which same. But do you remember when you first realized like that doing that was something that you really loved?
Yeah. I mean, I think like growing up, there wasn't a lot of TV. We lived in a very small remote town in Kansas. And so you sort of like made your own fun, right? And so my mom would go to the appliance stores and bring home boxes for me. And then I think I naturally gravitated to like just building my own doll houses and then living in them and making them into different rooms. And then we had a clothesline in the backyard. And so I made a lot of like A-frame tents as well. It had all my dolls in there. And I definitely remember like very specifically sectioning both of those things off to say, okay, this is my living room and this is my bathroom and this is where, we do this activity. And then I had my outdoor patio areas, which was my backyard. And I made a lot of fires when I was a kid. Like I was very much in nature in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah. It's so like innate in you.
Yeah.
I love that you were the only girl in your junior high construction class. What drew you to that course? And I wish that I would have taken that. That's such a cool class.
Yeah, as an art student, I think I just gravitated to any class that had to do with building something that was artistic, that would allow me to, create something. And I knew that that part of that class, you got to build a styrofoam model of a house. And I think that kind of like parlayed into, building tents and building homes, and like growing up with my parents too. Like, I think in that background, I'll just back up for just a little bit. Like, not only were they creative, but their friends were creative, and they all lived in different types of dwellings. And so like we had friends that lived in a geodesic dome, in a container, in an old schoolhouse in a little town. Like, so I think that I just picked up along the way, it's sort of like this way of thinking about design and spaces through those experiences. And so when I got into junior high and kind of like expanding into different courses, I really wanted to build that like little house. But the first part of that class was that we had to build a section of a house. Like, we had to build the foundation. We had to build the studs. We had to run the electrical and turn on a light bulb. And so at a very early age, I understood not only, how to build things, but what was behind the drywall. And so at the time, incredible. Like, I had no idea that would, obviously turn into what I do now, but it gave me that experience as to like, how do you actually build something?
Yeah. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't know what's behind my drywall. That's so cool to know.
Yeah. And kind of like what we do, we only do, this side of drywall as far as interior design goes. But because I have an architectural background, we do build, and I am very hands-on with all of our contractors, and we understand what's going on. But that was very, very early on.
Yeah, that's so nice. And you went on to study interior design at University of North Texas. So what did you learn there that really stuck with you beyond the technical skills?
It took me 6 years to get through college, because I was an art student. And this is a little bit like the interview you did with my good friend Johanna, where she was like, I'm an art kid. Like, what am I going to do? I'm an art kid. And so because I was an art kid, I did not excel in any other subjects. I was like, what am I going to do? Like, what is happening? So I just like took every art class I could possibly take. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll be an art teacher. And then I was like, I do not want to be an art teacher. That is like not for me. I was terribly shy. And so once I got to the University of North Texas, my mom was like, listen, you got to figure this out. Do something. And so when I got to UNT, I just went to the art department and I gathered up all of the degrees you could possibly get in art. And it was like, well, I'm not going to be a ceramicist. I'm not going to be a painter. Like, I'm not good enough at any of these disciplines to actually make a living or a money or anything on it. And then they actually had an interior design program. And it was right then and there, I was like, this is it. Like, wow. My grandmothers were sewers and shoppers. My parents are artists. I'm like building into this. I was like, I could get a job in this. Like, this is something that like relates to me. And so what I learned there was that I could actually have a career in interior design. And what does that kind of look like? And so once I got there, I like made straight A's. I was like this dynamic student. And like, it was sort of like a whole like mindset change or viewpoint. Like, my whole world opened up at that point.
I love that. I love when things like all align and it just flows so naturally and easily to you. Like, it feels like it's just meant to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then after you graduated, you moved to the Bay Area during the .com boom. So what was it like stepping into design at such like a transformative moment in tech and culture?
It was an interesting time for me because I, moving from Kansas then to Texas was kind of the same thing in a way. But moving from Texas to California is completely different, and not, I only knew one person at the time. And so getting a job and being on my own and like having to survive, it was like a whole new ball game, and the tech boom was going on. And so there was like all of these exciting things, but I did, land my first job with this really great ultra high end residential interior design firm that was very strict, very structured, very high end. And it gave me that first touch of like, I don't know anything about taste and design. And thank you for hiring me. And I'm just happy to be here and learn. And all of our clients were like involved in the tech industry they were like taking Yahoo and Netscape and Electronic Arts, and Google was being formed, and Napster, and like all of these like things that were just coming on. Those were our clients, and those were the people that we were working for. And I do remember I came back from one of our clients' meetings, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We just met with this startup company. It's called Netflix. We're thinking about taking them on." It's like it was the genesis of so many things that we just kind of like take for granted now. But like all of that was percolating and happening, and people were making a lot of money during that time too. And also, like I think I went to the second opening of an Apple store because it was right next. It was in Palo Alto. I worked in Menlo Park, and Steve Jobs was there. Like it was like a really interesting like time to be there and to like experience. And my career started before kind of like the internet was even a helpful tool for interior designers, and to see it now, now we're like in the AI era. It's like had a lot of longevity from that point.
That must be so surreal to look back on and be like,
so surreal.
Like, what? That's so crazy.
So surreal. And at the time too, it's sort of like, I don't know how people live and like, or what they spend money on. And I'm just kind of like learning like how all of that works. And so we worked on some really nice homes, and renovated some beautiful homes. And it was a really great beginning time for me.
Yeah. And then in 2004, Kelly Wearstler called you and you moved to LA. I'm like, wow, just like what an incredible journey. So can you take me back to the moment that you got that call? And for listeners who don't know, if you can explain a bit like about her career and who she is.
Yeah. So Kelly Wearstler, she's a renowned international interior designer. She's beyond, I call it, she's like the trifecta of design. Like she's crazy talented. She's beautiful. And she just has this whole world built around her that supports her. And it's amazing. She works hard. Like she does not phone it in. She is there every day. Like she's amazing. And so I moved to Southern California for personal reasons. And I was like looking for a job at that time. And so at that time, there was a thing that was called monster.com where people were putting the resumes out. And so I answered a monster.com job posting. And in that job posting, it said KWID. And I was like, okay, well, they're looking for this. I don't know what this company is. I'll get back to them in a couple of days, whatever. Didn't seem exciting to me. And then for whatever reason, I found myself at Barnes & Noble in the design section, and I pulled her book out. I didn't know anything about her at the time. I pulled her book out and I opened the front page and it said KWID. And I was like, OMG. I was like, I got to call this person back right now. And so I called the woman back and I got the interview, and then I interviewed with her, and then I got the job with her. And I was with her for 2 years, and it was an amazing experience being in her office and being around, so many amazing projects and amazing materials, and like the whole switch from my job in the Bay Area with everything was very classically designed and very I don't know why you want to call it, but very classical, very nice, but very high end. And like I was all of a sudden in Los Angeles amongst celebrities and amongst this whole everything. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no clothes to wear this. My entire ward would have to come to work. Like, but we worked on, or my main projects there were the Viceroy that was built in Anguilla. That was a very long, big project. That was her brand at the time I was there. And then the Bergdorf Goodman restaurant was one of my projects when I was there and in the architectural department. And then 2 apartment buildings, the Eastern Columbian building, which I'm so proud of because that's such an iconic building in Los Angeles. And to have been able to get to work on that project was insane, as well as the Hollywood Broadway building. Like that transformed into koi at the bottom and then condo apartments at the top. And so that was sort of my bridge into working from high-end interior design over to high-end hospitality design, which is, the languages of interior design are all a little bit different. They relate, but they're different vendors and different, conversations about how things function and how you design things for the public versus, somebody's home. And so that was like a unique bridge for me in working with her. Yeah.
Totally.
It was exciting. And, the team there was small at the time. And so, we were all kind of like a really cool little family and it was fun. Yeah.
That sounds so fun. And then you later joined the Getty's group and you worked on international hospitality projects like Hard Rock China. So how did that designing at that global scale then shift your perspective?
Yeah. So it was interesting because working with Kelly, everything was so customized and so sort of like more high end. And then getting the experience at Getty's, it was such a global company. They had multiple locations: Chicago, California. They had Hong Kong, Dubai. Like such a big operation. That was a whole different sort of like, I guess, like more corporate interior design job. We had a small office here in California, which was great. But, kind of like what you learn about these big projects is that they get kind of divided up amongst different offices. And so for the Hard Rock Hotel in China, our office got the spa levels, which was like great. So we got the pool level, the spa levels, and a couple of other like amenity spaces, which is great. And then, cool. Chicago got the rooms, and then another got the lobby and those spaces. And so you learn how to work on these big projects as a big team. And so that was a really good takeaway from all that. And, again, like that, there were so many great friendships that came out of working in that type of hospitality work.
Yeah. How cool. I would want the spa area too. I'm like, that sounds most fun.
I know. I'm like, give me a pool deck or a spa any day. I'll like knock that out all day long.
It's so cool. In 2013, you partnered with Better Shelter and you worked on major projects like Lido Marina Village, which I'm obsessed with, and also Pacific City, which I also go to a lot. So what did that chapter teach you about blending community, branding, and design?
Yeah. So, working with Steve Jones of Better Shelter, it was cool. It was a time where I think it was a downturn in the economy. And so what I knew about him was that he was making money during a downturn in the economy. And my partner at the time, we were looking for mentorship, and we met him. And then, he and I kind of like found an alignment in design. And I first worked with him on a Quicksilver Waterman store at South Coast Plaza, Fashion Island. Oh, cool. So that was sort of like the first thing that we worked on together. And then Pacific City needed a leasing trailer. And it was a surf-oriented leasing trailer, and they wanted it to be cool. And so then we worked on that. And then that kind of parlayed into Lido Marina Village with the same clientele. And I would say what Better Shelter gave me was the opportunity to have kind of like this deep-rooted, rich understanding of Southern California, the surf industry, the apparel industry, and like gave me this huge community, which I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for. All the people that are here in Costa Mesa, just like, it's like crazy amounts of creative people came out of Quicksilver, and all the companies that were here.
The amount of people I've interviewed that
Yeah.
started their business after they were working at Quicksilver, I've asked like, why? And they had said like the owner of the company at the time, like really encouraged everybody to have like a side hustle and to be their own entrepreneur. So I was like, that's so amazing. We got gifted with all of those people.
Yeah. It's just like, there's just so many people here that I'm related to now because of that partnership. And I'm always blown away because everybody's doing so many creative things, and like so many people that have been on this podcast, like I'm like, oh yeah, that person. Oh yeah, that person. And we're all kind of like connected somehow through design and fashion and architecture and design, which is like such a great community. I don't know that like Newport or like Orange County is really necessarily known for that, but it's like a hidden gem in this area, I think.
I 100% agree. Well, in 2017, then you launched your own firm, Common Standard. What pushed you to take that leap, and what did you want to do differently?
Well, I think I was at a crossroads with my career, and I think that it was a moment for me to kind of expand and come out on my own, and sort of like when you work for different companies, you sort of get to a place where you're like, okay, well, who am I as a designer, and what can I do? And, I had the opportunity to kind of do that. And, it's interesting because it's a hard road, but what I kind of found out is like, one project came, and then another project came, and then Outpost Kitchen came, and that was an amazing experience with Jay Lewis, the owner of Outpost Kitchen. I think it takes sort of like these people to come into your life that then help you expand into who you actually want to become, and like they're willing to take a chance on you. And we were really willing to be there to like help them expand as well. And Jay and especially Jenny of Coffee Dose and Poppy from Jan's Health Food Bar, they're all so wonderful, and like they were just very trusting of me and my team and what we were able to like do for them, and we were ready to do it.
I love all of those spaces so much. I grew up going to Jan's as a kid, so like getting to see the evolution of it now, I love, it's just so great. You like totally captured the entire business so beautifully.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the first couple of Jans we did with Better Shelter, and and I think as far with the Better Shelters and Steve's, deep-seated roots in the surf community, I think that set the stage for all of the Jans in the beginning. And then Poppy and myself, we've sort of like taken it into, kind of like where she wants to take it as a business, as far as we've kind of like, but there's a feminine touch on it. And, I think she's happy with the stores, and they keep expanding and growing and like, and changing a little bit, but they still have that kind of like deep seated, surf 70s like roots.
Totally. And I love like the homage to Jan, like the collage of all the photos and stuff. Happy to see.
Yeah, Jan always shows up.
Yeah. And speaking of Jans, you've touched so many beloved spots. I mentioned these in the intro, but Coffee Dose, Outpost, Eat Chow, Jan's, Eastside Mini Mart, which I love, and then Mariner Mile Square. So how do you approach creating spaces that feel both personal and widely appealing?
Yeah, I think that like the personality comes from the branding, and it comes from each client and what they're interested in giving to the community. And so that creates that sort of like personal level, in my opinion. And so we always take the spark or the idea of like, what is it that we want to put out into the world. And so like for Outpost, he was like, I want fresh food and I want, this to be disco and we want to have fun and like we want to have drinks and it's like beautiful and warm and like tropical and Australian, and like Coffee Dose is very like in your face and like we're drinking coffee and we're like flipping people off and we like we love that and we've got edge and like we're having like so much fun in there in the pink space and like that demographic is different than Outpost and like and then Jan's is like healthy and fun and vibrant and like and then we for Tiny Tooth we did the pediatric dentist for our clients up there. That's like a fun environment with a secret hidden closet. And so like the personality and the personal touch points for each of the spaces it comes from the personality of the brand and the client itself and the entrepreneur. And we love our entrepreneurs and with Chow, the same thing. It's like Chow's been, in business for the last 17 years and people know them. They've got great food and we're just like ready to like revive them and like make that place special, as far as like the neighborhood diner goes. It's like, we just love our people so much. And I think, the personal level, and then that translates out into the world and gives it that overarching like feeling of that transition.
I want to call out too that we have a beautiful photo of Chow of your design coming out in our July issue. So listeners can check out that issue. It's stunning. Like I'm trying to think of like, because all the places that we just talked about are so unique and like so stand out. And every single one that I've been to, every single time I've been to it for the first time, I still have that same reaction that I did to Coffee Dose. Like, this is so beautiful. I want to take photos of everything. But yeah, like now I'm going to try and like look to see like what new places that you have coming out and see if I can guess who's who or which ones are yours before I get there.
Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out like how to stamp each project and like maybe we'll do a treasure hunt or like, some kind of like fun thing.
Honestly, good, because they're all so gorgeous. So fun. Yeah. And the Lido Shore area.
Yeah, so the Lido Shores area is through a client, Redwood West, and they, it's sort of like the little tiny sister of Lido Marina Village now. Yeah. And so that's like a cute little pop-up. We built those little houses and we renovated the existing building that was there. That's this like crazy cool 2-story, small little like, I don't know why it's there, but it's like a little, Newport building holdover, which we love all those buildings. I would never tear down anything. It was up to me. I would renovate everything. So we were able to, renovate that space and create a pop-up space for it right now. So that was really, really cute. Little space. And then Mariners Mile Square, we've been working on that with our clients, and that's where our office is currently too.
Oh my gosh, wait, the entire Prairie Interiors, that entire that block?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is next to us. So
knew that was you. That's so funny.
So they were bold enough. They were bold enough to allow us to paint the building green and trust us that this was actually going to work, from block to block. And so we've been renovating this space for the past year plus. And so Prairie went in. Emmeline is down below us, and they're very cute store downstairs. Birdie is going to go in at the end, and then there's some other retail spaces that are going in as well. So it's turning out to be a beautiful building, and I think it's so nice for the community, and it's so nice for Coast Highway, and kind of like this, the revitalization of Miracle Mile, and so. Yeah, we are so lucky and we're excited that we're part of it.
That building, like I always thought had so much potential to be really pretty. And I'm so happy you've taken over it. Now I want to like find all these buildings and be like, can you make this one nicer? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have another one. Another one we're working on is the 17th Street one that has Shake Shack in it. So we're going to revitalize. Yeah, that one's going to be a really fun one because it's, it's just a strip mall. And so we're like doing some fun things over there and, making that one look nice too. So that's up and coming.
I love oak and coal. And so I'm really excited to see that.
Me too.
Yeah. Nice. Ooh, okay, great.
Yeah, they have great food.
Yeah, they do. Well, how would you describe your design philosophy today?
The design philosophy today is sort of like you only live once, like YOLO, like let's push the needle. Let's like go for it. And so, I think as we have, learned about our business and, over the last 8 years and like worked with our entrepreneurs, I think that we are not only are we concerned about the design that we develop for our clients, but we're also very integrated in the business behind their design. Like whatever we do, we want that to be part of their business. And so we're looking at each project as like an overarching art direction of like, okay, who's doing your branding? Are we doing it? Is somebody else doing it? Who's the voice behind it? Where's the consistency, in what you're offering to the public? Because if one thing falls off, the whole thing could fall off. And so we're really interested in helping our clients be the best they could possibly be for our community, for whatever community we're building inside of. And so we're looking at all of those things. We're looking at the design, the interior, the exterior, the branding, their uniforms, the way their voices, their social media. We're helping them build their teams now. And so a lot of that has come along as we've sort of like built these projects out. And it's sort of like people just need that. And we're lucky to work with the clients that we work with because they're so dynamic. And, Coffee Dose has a huge team behind them. Jay has his people. Poppy has a huge bench of people that she loves. Like, it's a great kind of like thing I think that people don't think about when they think about interior designers because we're so business forward.
Right. Yeah, I know. And that's, you guys literally encapsulate so much about all of your projects. I really appreciate that scope of your work. Well, we talked about a lot that you have coming up, but is there anything else that you would like to shout out for listeners to keep an eye out for in 2026? This will air like late summer, early fall.
Okay. So we have Coffee Dose Encinitas opening in the next several weeks. That's going to be a really fun, fantastic, amazing finer diner. So everyone will have to go down south and check that out. We also have Coffee Dose Palm Springs that's going to be coming online probably September, October-ish. So you can, keep watch for that one.
Perfect timing for the weather too.
I know, right in the pocket for sure. Yeah. We have a sushi restaurant coming online at the camp with that group. We love, working with Shaheen and his group over there. It's really fun. I spoke about the 17 Village, the strip mall that's going on. And obviously, and Miracle Mile, keep watching Miracle Mile, that's coming online. And so we're really excited. We have like a couple of other things going on too at the, but yeah, we're busy and we're happy and, we're excited to see who gets to work with us next. Or actually, I should say not with us, but that we get to work with them.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for doing this. We are coming to the end of our time, but before I let you go, I have 3 final questions for you that we call the Thoughtful 3. Yeah. So first, you've worked across so many types of projects and teams. What's something that you had to learn the hard way?
I think team building, working with the right people, working with the right clients, and having fun. Like just have so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's not really the hard way, but like,
I get what you mean though. Like having fun while you're working and enjoying the journey of it, not just the end result. Like that is, yeah. Okay. Looking back on your career, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Don't take yourself so seriously. Like, like just it's design. It's, it's fun, just relax. Okay.
Okay. Well, what advice would you personally give to someone who's interested in having a career in your field?
I would say go and learn everything you can possibly learn about every genre of design. Like get building that level of taste and like learn about architecture, learn about design, learn about food, like learn about anything you could possibly learn taste wise, high end brands, low end brands, vintage fashion. It's like we do so much vintage stuff, inside. I love vintage clothing. I have a big collection. And so it's like learning about the language of all those things will help you create your sense of taste and help you excel in your design language overall. Yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Well, thank you seriously so much for doing this. I had such a great time getting to talk with you, and I can't wait to go and experience all of your new places soon.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed the interview, and I really appreciate you choosing us.